The following is a presentation of the IHSA television network. Whitney Young in Edwardsville getting set for the Class 4A state championship. I'm Matt Rodewald here with head coach Corey Irvin. Unbeaten, nationally ranked, a classic victory in the Super Sectionals. How important is it for your kids to finish the job tonight?
I mean, it's not finished unless we do, I guess is the way to look at it. But I just want them to enjoy the last night. It's their last game together. They've been playing together for a long time. I just want them to go out the way they came in.
What did you tell them before this one? Because they had a game where they were tight early on and then got into a nice rhythm. What do you tell them going into a state championship game when Bolingbrook hasn't been here?
I mean, I told them that it's their last game together. Leave everything on the floor. They can't look back, can't have any regrets. So.
All right, Coach, well, good luck in the championship game and trying to finish an unbeaten season and get her second state championship. 2008, she won it here at Redbird Arena. She's going to try and win another one tonight. And for the call of that Class 4A state championship, we send it over to Dave Bernhardt and Patricia Babcock-McGraw.
Thank you very much, Matt. We welcome you here to our 4A championship ball game. We welcome you to a couple of teams that have combined for 67 wins, just one loss. They have both been nationally ranked this season. Whitney Young, of course, we mentioned, #2 in the country, #1 in the state. Edwardsville right now ranked #4 in the state. They've lost just one time. So it's similarities, north versus south, but there's many differences here tonight as well.
Yeah, well, we've got size versus speed in this championship game. Edwardsville, big and strong inside, and then Whitney Young just likes to rev up the tempo with that pressing defense and offense that is always looking to run.
It's the defense that really gets things going for the Dolphins. First for Edwardsville, it's inside, big, powerful, strong. It's Amani Henderson.
Yeah, well, we're waiting to see how Amani Henderson gets around here tonight. She tweaked her ankle last night against Loyola, was hobbling around for a while. Before the injury, though, she did a lot of damage inside. The big 6'2" forward finished with 15 points and a Class 4A finals record, 20 rebounds.
And for Whitney Young, Lene Harper. She did not have the highest scoring game nor the most assists last night, but boy, is she tough. She's an All-American, one of the top 5 players in the country in her class.
Well, she has that quick motor that so many players on this Whitney Young team have. She also's got the quick hands. She had 6 big steals and was at the center of Whitney Young's suffocating defense last night. The Dolphins forced 17 Bartlett turnovers and never let Bartlett exhale. Harper also had 16 points on 8 of 12 shooting. She had a big night last night.
Well, they'll look to get a big night from her, along with Janae Thompson, who set a tournament record with assists, and also Alexis Lloyd, the great defender. But I think, Patricia, the question everybody has been asking us all weekend when they saw this potential matchup coming in is, what do you think? A simple question like that, because of the different styles they play. What do you think?
Well, I think it's going to be tough for Whitney Young, actually, to match up with Edwardsville inside. But I think that eventually the speed of this Whitney Young basketball team is going to wear Edwardsville down. Edwardsville is very deliberate. They like to work the ball around. They like a slower pace. And Young is all about run, run, run. That wears on teams after a while. I think Young might just run away with it.
These two coaches not lacking for championship game experience. We are going to get things started. Whitney Young, Edwardsville, your 4A championship next. Let's go to our public address announcer here at Redbird Arena, Jeff Fritzen.
For this Class 4A championship game of the 2012 IHSA Girls State Basketball Tournament. First, from Edwardsville, a junior, #12, Lauren White. For Whitney Young of Chicago, a sophomore, 00, Kyla Hilsman. For Edwardsville, a junior, #12, Lauren White. Excuse me, #22, Sarah Parker. For Whitney Young, a senior, #11, Janae Thompson. For Edwardsville, a junior, #24, Asia Jones. For Whitney Young, a junior, #15, Lene Harper. From Edwardsville, a junior, #32, Imani Henderson. For Whitney Young, a senior, #31, Tessa Haldis. From Edwardsville, a senior, #34, Lee Kesper. And from Whitney Young, a senior, number 32, Alexis Lloyd. Edwardsville brings a 34-1 record into tonight's game. The Tigers are coached by Lori Blade. Whitney Young brings a 33-0 record into the game. The Dolphins are coached by Corey Irvin. The 4A championship officials, Ron Doyars, John Grifford, and Mike Hemberger. And now, fans, before our soloist sings the national anthem, we ask you to remember and honor the men and women of the United States Armed Forces serving throughout the world with a moment of silence. Thank you. We ask you now to join our guest soloist, Caitlin Grogg, a student at Normal Community High School, in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed as the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now, fans, as the players and coaches wish each other good luck at half court, remember the IHSA Board of Directors and member schools expect and promote good sportsmanship from all athletes, coaches, students, parents, and spectators. We request your cooperation.
33-0 Whitney Young, 34-1 Edwardsville. They meet for the Class 4A title coming up next. For our IHSA television crew and my partners Matt Rodewald and Patricia Babcock-McGraw, I'm Dave Bernhardt, welcoming you back to Redbird Arena on the campus of Illinois State University, where tonight the Tigers from Edwardsville will look to bring home the big trophy down south. And for Whitney Young, they will look to claim something that has not been theirs since 2008. Our 4A title game underway. And it will be Whitney Young. Janae Thompson runs the show, headed to the University of Kentucky. On the pull-up, Thompson.
We saw her shoot the jumper with such confidence last night, getting started here early.
And a lot will rest on the shoulders. The young lady handling the ball, Lauren White, point guard for the Tigers from Edwardsville. Lee Kesper, inside Henderson.
Nice high-low post action there. Great pass inside by Lee Kesper.
So very quickly, you see a guard score on one end and Henderson on the other.
It's what we talked about. That strong inside play for Edwardsville. And the guard play, so important for Whitney Young.
Harper will back it out on Asia Jones. Hillsman, the sophomore.
Whitney Young with two very deliberate possessions for them anyway. They don't usually spend so much time on each possession.
They get it to Kyla Hillsman, tallest player on the floor at 6'5". If you add up all the heights for Edwardsville, well on top of Whitney Young.
Well on top of a lot of teams.
Parker stopped by Harper. This would be the pace that Edwardsville would like to play at.
He's right up their alley.
And Kesper.
And that's what they want to do. They want to get those high percentage shots on the block. Just couldn't get it to go down, but that is their game. Slowing it down and looking inside.
Thompson, three. Henderson, 20 rebounds last night, her first here this evening. It's Alexis Lloyd fronting Amani Henderson inside. And missed badly. Whitney Young will let Edwardsville shoot from there. They'll take their chances, unable though to capitalize on the break. Lloyd, much like the shot that she sent the Bolingbrook game into the fourth overtime, comes up short on this one. Kessler posting up on Hillsman. Hillsman maybe gets a piece of that one.
That's a great matchup inside between those two.
Harper, they let her come all the way into the paint.
Maybe a little bit of nerves here, Dave. This is it. This is the state title game. Playing for all the marbles here. A little bit of nerves. We've seen some missed shots that both of these teams usually make.
Get it back into the hands of White. Henderson working on Lloyd. And a travel. Only 6 points on the board here in the opening 3.5 minutes. 4 belong to Whitney Young. We'll be back right after this on the IHSA Television Network.
And welcome back. Matt Rodewald with you here on the floor of Redbird Arena as Whitney Young a 4-2 lead early on. You know, the one thing that Edwardsville has going for him and for Lori Blade's squad is Amani Henderson coming in averaging about 16 points a game. She's obviously a matchup for everyone that defends her, including Whitney Young. And talking to Corey Irvin before the game, she kind of gave the sense, without saying in so many words, that we know Amani can do a lot of things and we know she can score some points, and that's fine. But the other four people on the floor have to do the same. So look for a possible situation where Amani gets a lot of points and they just try and shut everyone else down. Dave, Patricia?
Well, other teams have taken the approach that we're going to play some what Lori Blade calls freak defenses, triangle and twos, box and ones. A lot of teams have kind of just thrown the kitchen sink at Amani Henderson, and that's been their strategy, to shut her down and make the other people hurt them. Interesting to see how Whitney Young is able to handle it.
A little delay here, getting Tanita Allen into the ball game for Whitney Young. All 10 players in the backcourt. White on Harper. Allen picks up Parker. Henderson to pick. Parker the drive. Harper. Thompson so slick with the ball. Lloyd on the pull-up. Alexis Lloyd.
You know, Janae Thompson could have just gone straight to the basket on that one. She has the speed to get herself there, but she made a good decision. She waited for her teammates to get into position and found Alexis Lloyd.
One of the things that Thompson did in the offseason, not only did she work hard on her physical game, but also on knowing when she needs to score and when she needs to distribute. You've just seen her emerge. We talked about it last night. Last year at the state tournament, Janae Thompson still recovering. In fact, just had been back from her ACL surgery, only back about 5 or 6 games, and what a completely different player here at full strength this season. Runner kissing it off the glass just into the ball game is Aaliyah Covington.
Covington gives Edwardsville a lot of speed off the bench. Edwardsville needs that against a team like Whitney Young.
Taylor Brame has come into the ball game for Whitney Young. Lloyd working on White. Interesting matchup here. Parker and Thompson. Interesting the fact that Sarah Parker stands 6 feet tall. On the other side, Janae Thompson at 5'6". Again, you talk about the height mismatch. That's a prime example right there. But the Dolphins will say, you know what, if you're taller than us, then we'll just try to out-quick you and out-pressure you. Harper. Brame battles. Outduels Henderson for that one. And Henderson will get the board.
Edwardsville doing a great job of making Whitney Young work really hard in that half-court set. Really slowing down the tempo. This is their kind of game.
Turnover. Second one for the Tigers. Corey Irvin looking for her 300th win tonight. Thompson lets it fly. Allen, the freshman.
She gives Whitney Young a little bit of size off the bench. She's 5'10".
Too much for Henderson.
This is what gets teams into trouble. That full court pressure by Whitney Young, and at that time they were just kind of sitting back at it. Still intimidated Edwardsville enough to make him throw the ball out of bounds.
There's a little bit of confusion there between White and Parker in terms of how they wanted to break the press, and then obviously the count kept rolling on. Alexis Lloyd. She has worked hard on her shot in the offseason, and that three will give the Dolphins the early 11-4 lead. Strong inside for Asia Jones.
Great take. I like seeing that aggressiveness go into the basket, forcing the hand of the defense.
Parker, the defensive stopper for the Tigers, on Thompson. Frame goes right at Henderson.
Had a couple of really aggressive takes to the basket. Sophomore off the bench. Corey Irvin likes pairing Brame with Allen. We saw Allen a little bit earlier there with a strong move inside. Those two are going to be trouble down the road for Whitney Young. Brame just a sophomore and Allen just a freshman.
Saw it just moments ago, Corey Irvin having a conversation with her two guards, Lene Harper and Janae Thompson, and not appear to be too pleased with them on the defensive end. The lead doubled right now at 12-6. See whether Henderson gets a touch this time down the floor. A little bit of a switch here with Lloyd picking up White. The turnover. Dolphins look to capitalize. Inside frame. Under a minute to play in the first quarter. Covington, they get the touch inside Henderson. Unable to finish. Thompson around Parker. Brame no. Off the hands of Henderson.
Brame's body language right now. She's given a lot of good minutes for Whitney Young being strong inside, but she's just missed such close shots. Gotta hit those bunnies.
Inbounds pretty much lulled Edwardsville to sleep as Lene Harper gets the easy one.
Wow, look at those long arms by Allen.
To Brame. Long arms and quickness from Tanita Allen with Taylor Brame. I should have had that. Let's take a look back.
You put some of your tallest players up at the front of your press. It makes it difficult to see your teammates. And now you start to panic in that backcourt. You hear that 10-second clock ticking in your head and you make a bad pass, and that's how Whitney Young just eats you alive in the backcourt.
The final 9 seconds, Sydney Block will come in. Good shooting guard, good range. Brame 3 of 4 here in the final minute of the first quarter. White can't wait here. Clock winding down. And 1.4 seconds for Whitney Young to play with.
The second time tonight we've had a ball come straight at us. One in the third place game as well.
Thompson. Big first quarter for Whitney Young. The Dolphins, second-ranked team in the country. 16-6 thanks to their defense. Here after one in your 4A title game. A lot of orange here at Redbird Arena tonight. Orange, the primary color of each of these two teams. Edwardsville and Whitney Young. Glad to have you with us. Along with Matt Rodewald and Patricia Babcock-McGraw, I'm Dave Bernhard. Whitney Young fans and the Edwardsville fans happy to be here. But right now, Edwardsville got to take a little bit care of the ball. They've been stung.
7 Whitney Young points off of 6 Edwardsville turnovers. Edwardsville also not shooting the ball particularly well, 38%, and Amani Henderson needs to get herself more involved in this offense. She's shot the ball only twice.
She'll get the early touch here. Covington battles. Another miss inside. Numbers for the Dolphins. Harper. Jones will have it for Edwardsville.
Edwardsville is using that size advantage to its advantage on the boards. They're just not hitting those little chippies on the putback.
Brame leaning on Henderson. Want to go high-low there with Jones. Here's Covington. That's the second air ball 3 from that right corner here tonight for the Tigers. Edwardsville defeated Marist in the Super Sectional 48-41. A lone team that they have played north of Champaign. Foul on Janae Thompson. And will send Aaliyah Covington to the line. Covington did not play much last night in the semifinal win, that 51-34 Edwardsville victory over Loyola.
Check out that inbounds pass. Good look inside. Yet again, Edwardsville just not able to convert. Covington, her big sister, plays at Wisconsin. Key part of that team, Anya Covington.
Brame at 5'10", posting up inside. Scraps. No points to show for her, but boy, is she working.
Yeah, she's been very active. And she's got the big task right now of guarding Amani Henderson.
Henderson, another shot from 3. Parker able to clean up.
Henderson can hit the 3. She's hit 10 of them this season, but she wants to be down the block, and Brame is doing a nice job of pushing her off.
Just like that, Janae Thompson comes back the other way. 18-9 lead for the undefeated Whitney Young Dolphins. Hamilton works on Harper. Looking inside, great interior defense here by Whitney Young.
And Brame with the glasses, number 33, doing a great job of taking up space in the lane, while also always having to keep her eye on Amani Henderson. Whitney Young forcing the turnover on the charge.
Watch Brame.
See her stepping right in. Brame, off the bench, the sophomore, given such great minutes to Whitney Young. It's no easy task guarding Amani Henderson time after time, and then she's also helping on defense.
You have to come off the bench with great energy if you're going to do that, and she has done just that. Jones the block. Harper the putback. She is so strong. Lene Harper, one of 5 National Player of the Year nominees, just a junior.
Just such a great nose for the ball. And you mentioned the strength there, coming from picking the ball up off the floor, using that lower body strength to power herself up to get a good shot off, and then finishing. That is why she is first team All-State, one of the best juniors in the country. Every school in the country is after her. She earned a gold medal last summer for the 16 and under U.S. national team. This is a player to watch this year, next year, and for the years to come in college basketball as well.
Three-point play for Harper. 21-9 lead for Whitney Young. Courtney Dunbar is coming to the ball game for Edwardsville. Henderson can't get that one to go. He's had several looks inside.
One of her few touches in this game came when Brame went to the bench for Whitney Young.
Thompson, oh my. Oh.
That's the ankle breaker.
Anderson the block on Harper. And the Dolphins
Harper
just keeping it going.
Did you see how Harper tracked down that basketball? Just pumping the fist. Got her teammates involved. Such scrappiness by the Dolphins right now. They're all over the boards. They're pounding the boards. Harper picks one up. And that vision to see around the defender, knowing where her teammate is. Wow, great job by Lene Harper. And we forget, with all the plays that she makes inside, she's just 5'7". She uses every square inch of her body so well.
Anita Allen, the beneficiary of those efforts and that assist. A three-point play for Allen. She has 5 points, and that lead has gone to 15. Block in the backcourt. Lee Kessler back in the ball game. Gets it to Jones. A foul on Whitney Young. Back-to-back three-point plays for the Dolphins. Made it a 15-point difference as Asia Jones will step to the free throw line.
Asia Jones at the free throw line with 2 shots.
So taxing for Edwardsville. You see as they try to break the press each time, they're almost retreating in the backcourt, just not sure of how to get the ball up the floor, who to pass to. That is mentally draining. It's exhausting.
And I think we're seeing the results of that down on the inside for it.
Well, they just don't have the energy to finish off their shots, and they're not taking good shots. They're in a rush. They're in a panic. That's what Whitney Young can do to you, though.
They had a good opening 3 minutes here for Whitney Young. Lori Blade will try to put things back together. Her team trails the undefeated Dolphins by 14.
IHSA Network Basketball is presented by Country Financial. What's your idea of financial security? Visit countryfinancial.com and we'll help you achieve financial security no matter where you're starting from.
Our final National Association of Realtors trivia question for you here in the girls tournament. How many times has head coach Dorothy Gators led her team in Marshall High School in Chicago to the IHSA State Championship game? Dorothy Gators, how many times she take Marshall to the title game? We'll have that answer for you in the second half of our trivia questions, brought to you by the National Association of Realtors. Thompson is held on the way in.
Edwardsville foul 22. Sarah Parker, her second personal.
Lloyd guarded by Block out of the inbounds.
Whitney Young is now in the bonus.
A very efficient half-court offense for Whitney Young. And Thompson unable to connect on that three. You know, we say efficient, even though they're shooting just 33%, but they've dominated the backboards as Whitney Young 20-12.
We see there, yet again, going for another second chance there. 21-10 rebound advantage for Whitney Young. Lene Harper has 9 rebounds herself. She's 5'7". We thought that that would be a huge advantage for Edwardsville. Edwardsville starts 6'4", 6'2". It's got a 5'10" player in there as well. Whitney Young has 5'7", 5'6", 5'10", only one 6-footer in its starting lineup. That really should be an advantage for Edwardsville, and that just goes to show you the hustle that Whitney Young is playing with on every possession. Dominating the boards like that, that's pretty impressive. Also leading Edwardsville in second chance points 10-3.
Sydney Snow has come into the ball game for Whitney Young. Edwardsville tries to break it with Dunbar. She had a couple of threes from that corner last night. Jones is fouled.
That's exactly the kind of effort that Edwardsville needs right now out of Asia Jones, keeping those possessions alive, going after those offensive rebounds. It's one of the strengths of this Edwardsville basketball team, and they've got to start taking advantage of it.
Tessa Haldis picked up the personal foul. She'll have a seat on the Whitney Young bench along with Tinita Allen. A couple of fouls for Haldis. Look out, here comes Thompson. Parker on the chase, not going to catch her.
She finishes so well. We see a lot of blown layups, especially down here at the state finals where nerves come into play, and Janae Thompson just so smooth, such a great finisher.
Block bounces it away. Frustration here for Edwardsville. 9
turnovers for Edwardsville, just 1 for Whitney Young. Whitney Young playing a very clean basketball game right now, all the way around. Doing a great job on the boards, keeping the mistakes to a minimum.
Well, that shot of Sarah Parker told you a lot. Not a happy camper right now. Her team trailing by 16. Bounce into the paint to Lloyd.
Wow, great shot by Lloyd, but what a setup by Lene Harper. If you saw how she used her body there, she stuck her behind out. And I'm always telling my players, I coach a 5th grade girls basketball team, use your whole body, even if it means sticking your behind into somebody else. Lene Harper created space, and she found her teammate with a great bounce pass inside. Check out this play here. See how she's using her backside, creating the space, the separation, and then finding her teammate inside. That's the way to use your body, even when you have a size disadvantage, as Lene Harper very frequently does at 5'7". She's still able to make plays inside.
Parker takes it in on Harper. The quickness the other way. Thompson to Lloyd. Anderson gets her 4th rebound.
Alexis Lloyd's going to be down for a little bit there. She's getting herself up. What a tough player, but she got clocked.
Wow. Aaliyah Covington will get the basket, but that's not the story.
Wow, Alexis Lloyd, she's known for her defense, her suffocating defense, and she was all over Edwardsville's ball handlers, and boy, Imani Henderson just cleared her out of the way. You don't want to be running into Imani Henderson.
Lloyd looks to answer the other way. On the offensive end.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That might be the play of the game. It's only the 2nd quarter, but that might be the play of the game. How about Lene Harper? But we're going to go take a look back at that pick, first of all. You see Alexis Lloyd not seeing that coming whatsoever. Just the snot knocked out of her on that pick, and then Lene Harper up and under, faking Imani Henderson, 6'2", a big presence inside, out of her shoes. Remember, Lene Harper, just 5'7". That was amazing.
That was an incredible play by a junior. One of the top 5 juniors in the country. She has 10 rebounds tonight already to go along with those 7 points. And more. Harper takes a hit, but it's Lloyd that will clean it up. 9 points for Lloyd, 32-12 with a minute and a half to play in the first half. Parker.
Hey, Harper.
Boy, they are sharks right now.
The Dolphins are sharks. And how about that spin move? Whoa. He almost had 2 highlight reel plays right there.
White on the standing dribble. Covington's been off the bench tonight. Done a nice job with 7 points. They had 5 points. Sydney Snower. Little floater from Snower.
Great little runner inside.
Lloyd will get called for the foul.
And I can hear fans from the stands yelling, keep the heat on, keep the heat on. This team just keeps the pedal to the metal. They do not stop. They are relentless in their pressure defense. It's exhausting to handle. Lauren White for Edwardsville, number 12, doing her best to handle that pressure. But it's been tough here tonight. And you feel it kind of revving. It's revving itself up. It's getting tougher and tougher as this second quarter has gone on.
Courtney Irvin will bring some reserves in for Whitney Young to close out this first half. Dolphins on a 10-2 run. Final 10 seconds of the half. White. Can they get it off? No. Whitney Young, an 18-6 run. They've taken a 10-point first quarter lead. They are showing why they are the state's #1 team, and according to USA Today, the #2 team in the nation. They lead it at the half in your 4A title game, 34-12.
Whitney Young with a 22-point lead here at the half. Let's celebrate the 3rd and 4th place winners from earlier tonight. Jeff Fritzen, our public address announcer.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the court for the presentation of the 3rd and 4th place individual and team awards for the Class 4A Girls State Basketball Final. Presenting the awards are members of the IHSA Board of Directors, Dan Klett of Wakanda, Dr. Chuck Nagel of East Peoria, and Dr. Jeanette Knuckles of Normal Community. At this time, please meet the Ramblers of Loyola Academy, who finished the 2011-12 season in 4th place with a final record of 26 wins and 8 losses. First meet the athletic director, Patrick Mahoney.
Thank you very much.
Athletic trainer, Kevin McDonough. Head coach, Jeremy Schonecker. Assistant coach, John Wolf. Assistant coach, Brittany Mignani. Assistant coach, Bob Atwood. Assistant coach, Tom McConey. Manager, Natalie Tedesco. Manager, Tara Honda. And the Rambler squad members, number 3, Mary Kate Harrion. Number 4, Mary Kate O'Malley. 5, Lauren Priz. Number 10, Michelle Rococo. Number 11, Sarah Hines.
Good job, sir.
Number 12, Maggie Nick.
Good
14, Colleen McShane.
Congratulations.
Number 20, Egan Burney. 21, Carly Callens. Number 22, Jamie Stoner. 23, Kathleen Stralka. 32, Jenny Franzen. Number 33, Sarah Elston. And number 41, Anna Schuler. Now please meet the Hawks of Bartlett High School, who finished the 2011-12 season in third place with a final record of 32 wins and 2 losses. First meet principal Suzanne Cologne. Athletic Director Jeff Brawl. Head Coach Denise Sarna. Assistant Coach Brad Hunt. Assistant Coach Bill Merman. Assistant Coach Nicole Jara. Assistant Coach Kim Lofton. Manager Allie Giampapa. And the Hawks squad members, number 10, Nicole Gobo. 11, Kendra Videkis. 12, Natalia Grodsky. Number 14, Janessa Baker. 15, Katie Gutzwiller. Number 20, Elizabeth Arco. 21, Chantel Zazada. 22, Haley Videkis. 23, Ashley Johnson. 25, Kristen Coniff. 31, Ashley Johnson. 32, Alexandra Flagg. Number 33, Tracy Raggio. Number 34, Kayla Gallagher. 35, Tori Hoffman. And number 41, Lisa Palmer. And now will Coach Schoenecker and the captains from Loyola Academy please step forward to receive the Class 4A 4th place trophy. And next will Coach Sarna and the captains from Bartlett High School please step forward to receive the Class 4A 3rd place trophy. Congratulations.
For Loyola, it is the first state trophy since 1998 when the Ramblers completed a back-to-back state championship season. And for Bartlett, it's the first time they've won on Saturday to finish their year. A 3rd place trophy to couple with their 2nd place trophy from 2005. Bartlett and Loyola playing earlier. We got a state championship to decide, or is it decided already? Young's going to see if they can keep the pedal to the metal. Up 22 here at the half. 34-12, Whitney Young in front here at the half. Head coach Corey Irvin, your kids are rolling in that 2nd quarter.
Yeah, I thought the 2nd quarter was better than the 1st quarter. We just kind of started off a little bit, I don't want to say tight, we just missed a couple layups, but I think our defense really is bringing the intensity. We were able to get them in a little bit of foul trouble, and that helped.
We've seen your kids with an offensive presence up and down the floor, but really it's the defense that's creating the offense tonight.
Right. Our defense always creates our offense, and we were able to get, not necessarily steals, but put them in positions they didn't want to be in, so that was good for us.
Okay, Coach, good luck in the 2nd half. Head coach Corey Irvin, a win tonight gets her 300 for her career and her 2nd state championship. 22-point lead, Young in front. It's a 22-point deficit facing the Tigers here in the second half. Lori Blade, what do you do to get back into this one?
Well, we've got to take it possession by possession. They're making us go at a faster pace, normally what we do to everybody else. So we need to settle in a little bit better and get quality shots every possession and try to get stops each and every possession.
Some turnovers starting the half-court offense and also problems on the boards as well. Those are two things.
The boards are huge. Normally we dominate the boards, but they've just turned the tables on us. We need to settle in and try to do what got us here. And that's difficult to do, but we've got to do what we can.
All right, Coach, good luck in the second half. Head coach Lori Blade, the Edwardsville Tigers. She won 2 state championships at Carrollton, but she also finished runner-up in one. She has probably a little more familiar feeling in that 1999 year than tonight. We'll send it over to Dave and Patricia in just a minute, but first, this is the IHSA Television Network. Whitney Young was on full display, the full arsenal in that second quarter, and that is why we are sitting at 34-12 with the Dolphins eyeing a second state championship. Dave and Patricia have some highlights, and it's a lot from Whitney Young.
Indeed, Matt. Things got started pretty well, though, for Edwardsville. As you heard Corey Irvin say, maybe her team was a little bit nervous. Edwardsville had settled in a little bit early. Amani Henderson got an early touch and got things started.
Well, she did. She was strong early, but Whitney Young really shut her down later in the game. Just 4 points for her. You see her strong inside there, but Whitney Young is really beating Edwardsville at its own game. See some highlights there inside for Edwardsville, but on the other end, it's Whitney Young dominating the boards. Janae Thompson getting to the basket. Whitney Young has a 22-10 advantage in the paint over Edwardsville. They've got a rebounding advantage. You see this great up and under move by Lene Harper, flexing her 5'7" muscles over the 6'2" Henderson.
Take a look at the stats brought to you by Realtor.com, and 2 that we've highlighted. Boy, that tells a big story right there. 14 3 and second chance points. Points off turnovers, 16 for Whitney Young. Combine that with the rebounding numbers. Of those 25 rebounds for the Dolphins, 15 have come on the offensive end. Amani Henderson with 3 personal fouls. You saw that basket that she scored. It was early in the game. That's the only points that the 6'2" junior, averaging 16 a game, has scored here this evening.
Well, Whitney Young has really done a nice job of neutralizing her inside. Just 1 of 6 field goals, only 4 rebounds. Remember, she had the 20 rebounds last night. That's a Class 4A state finals record. They've just pushed her off the block. Really, it made her a non-factor.
See here in the early going to the third quarter how Edwardsville is able to handle both half-court and full-court pressure if they have any chance of narrowing this gap. Nice catch by Kesper off the feed from Parker. First points of the night for Lee Kesper. Thompson looking at the zone, shoots right over it. They let Janae Thompson walk up to that free throw line. 5'6" senior doesn't miss, averaging 18.5 points per game, coming off an 18-point, 13-assist game last night in the semifinal win over Bartlett.
And Janae Thompson is so great at breaking you down off the dribble, creating space for herself because you can't get up on her too close. See there the contact. Aggressive move going to the basket. That's what Edwardsville needs coming out of halftime here. You want to be strong, use that height to your advantage.
Lori Blade not showing much emotion right there. Meanwhile, Sarah Parker, we had shown a shot of her before being angry. And she has ratcheted that up a couple notches after banging that free throw off. She'll get the second. Early moments, third quarter of your 4A championship ball game. Montini Broncos earlier today claiming their 3rd straight 3A title. Henderson the board off the Harper miss. Kesper the catch inside again. And again. That was a problem early in the first half for Edwardsville. They had the good looks inside, and the margin of error is so small. You play a team the quality of Whitney Young. How about that defense on the inbounds pass?
Just getting those hands up. Such active hands for this Whitney Young basketball team.
Janae Thompson making it look easy.
Twice now over Sarah Parker. Sarah Parker's 6 foot, got the long arms, and Janae Thompson just shoots right over the top of them.
Thompson, McDonald's All-American. She'll be playing that All-American game in Chicago coming up in a few weeks.
I was starting to say earlier that she just does such a nice job of creating space for herself because of her speed. You feel like you can't really get up on her too close, and then she'll break you down with that dribble, back up a little bit, and then she's got a wide open look at the basket.
Kyla Hillsman, the freshman, unable to put it back in. She goes over the top of Kesper. Hillsman, a 6'5" sophomore.
Whitney on foul on 0-0.
A lot of potential.
Kyla Hillsman, her second personal.
Chance to be a dominant center, high school and beyond. She will come out. Tanita Allen comes in. Allen, the freshman. That is 2 straight inbounds passes that have been severely contested by Whitney Young. Both result in turnovers and now a subsequent foul. Thompson, 3. (38-15), 2 minutes into the third quarter. Whitney Young bidding to become the first team since 2005 to go undefeated with the state championship. Henderson had a tough time tonight. Parker will go back to the line.
Henderson has got the moves down. She's got nice footwork and getting herself to the basket. A little spin move there. See her using her feet there, getting herself close to the basket, creating space for herself. She's not able to knock down those shots. Monty Henderson just 1 of 6 from the field right now.
Aaliyah Covington comes in. She'll replace Lee Kesper. Parker's made her last 3 free throws, 5 points on the night for the 6-foot junior. Only 1 senior, that's Kesper, the top 7 in the rotation for Lori Blade and the Edwardsville Tigers. Not beyond the realm of possibility that you'd see both of these teams down here next year. However, Thompson, Aldis, and Lloyd will graduate for Whitney Young. This is Alexis Lloyd.
Whitney Young has some nice young players, though, coming off the bench. And we're seeing a lot of them in this game here today. Number 24, Tanita Allen, and number 33, Taylor Brame, doing a nice job of playing inside. And there's Brame going strong.
She's frustrated. She's done everything to get to where she wanted to be. The ball has not gone in.
You know, she's 0 for 5 from the field. Just the 3 points on free throws. She's doing a nice job on the board, and her primary function in this game, talking about Taylor Brame, number 33 for Whitney Young with the glasses, is that she is supposed to be checking Amani Henderson, and that's a load. She's been doing a great job of it, though. The sophomore not backing down. Amani Henderson is a player who's getting a lot of attention from Division I schools all over the country. That's a tall order for a young player like Taylor Brame.
She has that energy, and appears if she's been fired up enough to ensure she did a job. You know, and that's what happens, right? A lot of people looking at Henderson, and all of a sudden they see this number 33, just a sophomore playing
That's
a little
right.
deep.
That's how she's going to get herself some Division I looks as well.
Henderson throws it up ahead for Covington and catches the sideline. pace not quite as quick as we saw in the second quarter. However, the dominance remains. Whitney Young 40, Edwardsville 17. You have our answer to the National Association of Realtors trivia question we asked in the first half. How many times has head coach Dorothy Gators led her basketball team at Marshall High School in Chicago to the IHSA state championship game? Here you go. Answer: 11 times, including 8 state titles. That's a record. 11 times to the championship game. Thanks to Realtor.com and the National Association of Realtors for all of our trivia questions and answers here these last 2 weekends in Bloomington Normal at Illinois State University's Redbird Arena. There's Corey Irvin bidding for her 300th victory here tonight in her 11th season. Yeah, do the division. Just a shade under 30 wins per year. The team is 33-0 this season. Like actually a long time ago, this past Monday, when it was that what will go down in the annals of Illinois high school basketball history as one of the all-time great games. 74-65, 4 overtime win over 3-time defending state champion Bolingbrook.
Corey Irvin is talking about Dorothy Gators. Irvin is kind of pushing to make a name for herself in terms of those state final appearances. Whitney Young has made the state finals in 6 of the last 8 years. Won state in 2008, state runner-up in 2009 and 2010. And she's putting together quite a little resume as well. We might have her as a trivia question someday.
She may still be on the bench when we're asking that question.
Exactly. Boy, this team is rolling along. You talk about the talent that Whitney Young has, and there is a lot of it on the floor for this team, but it's not easy, and no one's going to feel sorry for them, but it's not easy going through the course of the season where there are so many expectations placed on your shoulders. You're the #1 team in the state. You've got a challenging schedule. You're playing some of the better teams in the country, and then USA Today jumps on board and ranks you #2 in the country. Those are some lofty expectations. The bullseye is on your back. You're facing teams night in and night out who are giving you a 100% effort, their best game of the season. They're psyched up for you. There's a strong move inside by Henderson, finally getting herself going. It's exactly what Edwardsville needs, but it's a lot on the shoulders of these Whitney Young players, and they handle it so beautifully.
Talk about the out-of-state competition. Whitney Young played 10 teams outside the state of Illinois. Others may say, well, if they're ranked #2 in the country, maybe a state championship here would give them the top ranking. And unfortunately for the Dolphins, #1 ranked team in Arizona has already won the Arizona state title, so that season complete. So I don't think we'll see Whitney Young leapfrog into the top spot. To the line goes Asia Jones.
Don't think they're going to be losing any sleep, though, over #2 in the country, and it's pretty darn good.
There's a trophy sitting down through the tunnel here that I think they've been going after all season long. That was the #1 goal.
That's right.
Along the way for Whitney Young, success in the public league, on the public league title for the 7th time in the last 8 years. What a pass from Thompson to Allen.
One-handed, the precision that Janae Thompson put on that ball. Just a lightning bolt down into the lane. When you play with players like Janae Thompson and Lene Harper, you've got to have your hands ready if you're a big post player inside.
Henderson lets it fly. Possession will go to Whitney Young. Edwardsville's never really gotten their feet underneath them tonight. I mean, that's the game plan that Whitney Young will bring at you. Never letting you feel comfortable with yourself. That will be a Whitney Young turnover. That is just the 2nd turnover tonight.
We're talking about that awesome pass by Janae Thompson. Look at it here.
Whitney Young, substitute 4, Sydney Sneller.
That was actually the turnover, the highlight of the second turnover of the night.
We'll get it.
For Whitney Young. 14 turnovers for Edwardsville have led to 19 Dolphin points. Parker will turn it over for the 15th time for Edwardsville this evening.
Edwardsville, substitute 13, Courtney Dunbar.
Courtney Dunbar comes into the ball game. Last night, Dunbar came off the bench with 11 points. Here's a look back at that Janae Thompson pass.
You see just the precision there, the one-handed, have your hands ready. Tanita Allen. Remember, Thompson had 13 assists last night in the semifinal game. That was a record. We always talking about her scoring. She had 18 points in that game as well. She averages about 19 points per game, but she is such a good passer as well. Makes her such a difficult matchup. What do you guard? Do you get on her and guard her scoring abilities? Do you drop off because you know she's going to pass? Boy.
You know, I know this is going to sound like a strange comparison. Henderson inside, struggling all night long in there. But Thompson, to an extent, mirrors the skills of another former Chicago Public League player in Derek Rose. The idea that Rose scored as much as he needed to in high school to help his team win. He would give the ball up when he needed to. That's what Janae Thompson has done.
Well, and both of them have that scorer's mentality. Janae Thompson is definitely a scoring point guard, but over the years, she has gotten better and better at adding to her game. You see the turnover there, a rare turnover by Janae Thompson. Edwardsville looking to capitalize. Just couldn't do it. Kesper just couldn't get her hands on it before the foul. But, you know, Thompson, she's adding to her game over the years in terms of how to become that better overall player, a player that can also get her teammates involved. We mentioned the 13 assists last night. She's been doing that all season. She's really a complete player, very versatile. Her court vision has been tremendous.
Inside it goes, and Asia Jones can't get it to roll in. Nothing rolling in. There's a block by Hillsman. Here's Harper. Snower. Good block out by Parker. She rode Harper all the way into the corner. (43-20). Same point differential that we had at the half at 23. A minute and a half left in the third. Jones knocks it down.
Basket by Asia Jones.
Thompson quickly accelerates. Kyla Hillsman stands 6'5". Tough to get the ball past her.
That's what she brings to the table. Whitney Young also hoping to develop her more from an offensive standpoint. You see her travel there with the basketball. Still working on that. She's a work in progress, just a sophomore. She was on this roster last year. Corey Irvin told us that, you know, we didn't dress her when we went downstate last year, even though that she was on the team. Just felt like she wasn't ready for that experience yet. She's starting to grow and mature a little bit game by game. But I think as she kind of catches up to her size and her strength, she gets her footwork going and her hands going, Kyla Hillsman's going to be a force to be reckoned with inside for Whitney Young.
Whitney Young, substitute number 10, Jasmine.
Saw Lauren White turn the ball over, and there's your lapse of concentration, that the mental pressure that's been put on her all night long with the double dribble. Thompson can't get the right spin off the backboard. A lot of orange jerseys just standing around the ball.
Well, Edwardsville did everything right in terms of blocking out all of their players, but then they forgot to go get the basketball.
Nice job defensively by Jones. We remind you, coming up next week, we will head to Peoria. The boys' state finals begin, Class 1A and 2A from Carver Arena in Peoria, and that will be followed up by our 3A and 4A boys. You get all that right here on the IHSA television network. Dunbar with 11 points last night has not gotten as many minutes here this evening for Edwardsville. Can't get that layup to roll in. Shooting just 25% tonight. Edwardsville 8-32. White. A little hectic here in the last few moments. Lauren White says, why not? Her first points of the night.
Edwardsville needed that one, but Whitney Young constantly reminding you how you have to value the basketball and take care of it. Edwardsville almost didn't get that shot because they almost turned it over.
Lead under 20. Snower nicely done with the left hand at the buzzer. The lead had been under 20, but that's exactly where we sit right now. 8 minutes to a state championship for Whitney Young. They lead it 45-25.
Whitney Young in firm control of this one. 20-point lead for the Dolphins en route to a second state title. Matt Rodewald with you here at Redbird Arena. It's always, as we always do at the end of the third quarter and the start of the fourth quarter, some information regarding the celebrations. For Whitney Young, they're going to celebrate on Tuesday. There's no school on Monday. Happy Pulaski Day to all of you, that's why. So they're going to do it Tuesday morning at 9:40. For Edwardsville, a caravan back into town and then a celebration on Tuesday. And yes, that's Ed Hightower. He will be there. Who is Ed Hightower and why is he even here? Well, he is the longtime superintendent of schools in the Edwardsville School District, not just a Big Ten referee. He's got two jobs. You got to have one to have the other, right?
Very true. Yeah, Ed's kind of been relaxing here tonight. Not a whole lot for the Edwardsville fans to get too excited about. A little bit early. There's Ed Hightower all dressed up. No stripes on him tonight. Free throw good from Lauren White. Her three moments ago. Just a second three-pointer we've had tonight. Ed Hightower making the trip down from Evanston, where earlier today he officiated the game up in Northwestern. Well, that is time management.
You talk about how these teams have only hit 2 3-pointers, getting it done in other ways. Whitney Young getting it done in other ways. This is a team that likes to score. We talked about that. Up-tempo team. They average 84 points per game. Not going to come anywhere close to that here today. But they have been able to deal with the tempo that Edwardsville has dictated, and they've dealt with it very well. They have matched Edwardsville inside. They've taken advantage, points in the paint. They have such a huge advantage there, 28-16. They've used their aggressiveness, their hustle. They've gone after loose balls. They've done a great job on the boards. Like we mentioned at halftime, they've basically beaten Edwardsville at Edwardsville's game. Edwardsville is a team that will out-rebound you. They will punish you in the paint. Whitney Young doing a great job of that all game, and that's really been the difference here tonight.
Haven't heard much from Lene Harper recently. Had a bucket moments ago. Just picked up another rebound, her 13th. From the corner, ring up the three. Give it to Jasmine Ogunjimi.
You gotta love that when we're just talking about something and a player goes out, shuts us up.
The 50 points on the scoreboard for Whitney Young. That's the highest point total that Edwardsville has allowed this season. Bucket inside from Jones. She has 8 points. The previous high that Edwardsville gave up was 48. That came in the loss. Their only loss, other than the possible one here tonight, is Lene Harper putting on a show. The only other loss Edwardsville suffered, they gave up 48 points against our Class 2A state champions, Quincy Notre Dame.
some of the moves inside we've seen tonight out of Lene Harper. There she is. She had that big up and under move right past Amani Henderson in the first half, and the spin move on the block. I have been so impressed with her inside for a 5'7" player who's really more of a perimeter player, an outside shooter. She has been amazing with her post moves inside. She has such a repertoire, so many nice moves. You don't see a lot of post players with the moves like that, seriously.
Those are our thoughts on Lene Harper. Corey Irvin has hers.
Janae, I don't really know what more I could say about Janae, but I think what she's doing really well right now is she's doing what we need to do to win. And she kind of understands that if we need her to score 30 points, if we need her to pass the ball, if we need her to defend, she's doing whatever she has to do so we can win.
And that was Corey Irvin talking about Janae Thompson. Thompson tonight with 10 points. Nowhere near the 13 assists she had last night, the record-setting assists. She has just a couple here tonight, so that's testimony once again. Your point guard, Janae Thompson, doing what she knows she needs to do. There's Lene Harper, pretty good numbers, huh? Another double-double. We've already told you that 10 times this year, not only did Harper lead her team in scoring and rebounding, she did it with the double-double. So nothing new here in the state title game.
Well, I think it's interesting, too, that in that super sectional, that crazy super sectional against Bolingbrook, she had a double-double, but not with rebounds. With assists, she had 16 points and 11 assists. So just showing her versatility, how she can get the job done in so many ways. Lene Harper can rebound. She can get double figures there. And she can also pass the ball. She can score.
Good board inside by Jones. And another. Asia Jones earning it inside.
Asia Jones, 9 rebounds, 10 points. She's really picking up the slack for Amani Henderson. Amani Henderson stuck at 4 points, just 2 of 10 from the field.
There was Harper inside battling. 10 points, 10 rebounds for Asia Jones as she goes double-double here in your 4A title game.
Edwardsville foul, number 10, Sydney Block, her first personal.
Sydney Block with the foul inside. We look at Amani Henderson, just 4 points tonight for Henderson. 2 of 10 from the field, 6 rebounds. She does have 4 personal fouls. Again, a little deception by Whitney Young. And Taylor Brain will get the bucket.
Edwardsville just fell asleep on that one. Brain has done such a nice job off the bench for Whitney Young all game.
The second time tonight that Whitney Young has converted that inbounds play into points. Covington on the baseline. Brame didn't get there in time. Brame suffered from cramps in that Bolingbrook game, was in and out 3 times the final moments of regulation and into the 4 overtime periods. Brame will come out, and in comes Tessa Haldis.
Correction, shooting 1 bonus. In the game for Edwardsville.
Leah Covington for a 1-and-1. 54-32. It was a 23-point difference at the half after Whitney Young had led 16-6 after 1. A conversation there with Corey Irvin and Janae Thompson. Maybe one of the last ones they will have. They're wearing the same colored uniforms on the floor at the same time. Harper inside, hangs and scores.
Yet another great post move by Lene Harper. This time with the fake, going up strong. We've seen the pump fake on the block. See here, watch this. Yep, I'm gonna get you up off your feet. I'm gonna make you foul me. And to finish too. On top of that. We've seen pump fakes, we've seen spin moves, we've seen up and unders. What next out of Lene Harper on the block?
14-14 points and rebounds tonight for the 5', 8" junior.
I'm going with Skyhook. That's next out of Lene Harper.
Underneath 5 to play here in our state title game. This has been decided early. Nice catch by Henderson.
Great job of moving her feet, getting herself open, catching the ball, and keeping it up high. So many post players, they bring that ball down low. Monty Henderson with the steal. See if Edwardsville can put a nice little run together here.
Jones, 6 of her 12 points have come here in the opening 3.5 minutes. Well, once again, the Tigers have cut the lead to 20. 4:22 to play in your 4A championship game. Big lead for Whitney Young.
For Young here in the state championship, Class 4A, Matt Rodewald with you. And you've heard some music in the background. This is the Litchfield High School Band. They've been here all day long. Yesterday we heard from Romeoville. Last week we had Mercer County and Carbondale. These kids stay here all day, play all day. They've got to be just as tired as we are, Dave and Patricia, at the end of the day, right?
I think they are more exhausted because they do not even leave for lunch. Between sessions, they stick around, hang around, walk the concourse. Love having the pep bands at all the state tournaments. And of course, we'll get 4 more the next 2 weekends in Peoria. Open path to the basket for Dunbar.
Whitney Dunbar.
57-39 halfway through the 4th quarter. Of course, one of the strengths for Young being able to move people in and off the bench once again. Brame and Allen come back in. A freshman-sophomore combo. Lloyd to Brame, and a chance for a 3-point play.
Nice finish there by Brame. It's just her 2nd field goal on the day. 2 of 8, 4 big rebounds. She has been more of a factor defensively going up against Amani Henderson. You mentioned the bench and how Whitney Young has been rotating a lot of people in and out of this game. And one thing that's been missing for Edwardsville, Courtney Dunbar just scored the last trip down for Edwardsville. She had 11 points last night for Edwardsville, giving them a big spark off the bench. She has been quiet here today. Besides that basket she just had, that's been it for her. 1 of 3 from the field.
Lob inside to Jones, and it will roll in. Raja Jones, a 5'11 junior, with her 14th point of the night. She came in averaging 7. Here comes Covington. Harper will let her go.
Whitney Young gotten a little bit sloppy these last couple trips down the floor, and Edwardsville is making them pay.
59-43. Harper will back it out.
At this point, the clock is your friend. Work a little bit of clock off. Force the foul.
And the Whitney Young fans want the Dolphins to close it out strong here.
Make that statement. Flex those muscles.
18 foul.
For Edwardsville, they're just 2 minutes and 52 seconds away from picking up their 2nd loss of the year. How about the 2 losses the Tigers will suffer? There's not too many teams that say we lost twice to 2 state champions. But of course, the other loss coming back about a month ago to Quincy Notre Dame, a team we saw here last weekend in 2A just absolutely roll through the field. And of course, Whitney Young about ready to do it in on Edwardsville here tonight. So the Tigers will look back. They'll see their school record 34 wins. They'll say, well, there's not much more we could have done.
Yeah.
12 points tonight for Janae Thompson, coming off an 18-point performance last night. Nice catch from Jones down to Henderson. Imani Henderson with 8 points, well short of her average of 15.6. The Dolphins will spread the floor here a little bit. Allen somehow finds Brame inside.
Those two work so well together. The freshman, Allen, Brame, the sophomore, come off the bench, give Whitney Young some size. And they're always looking for each other, the two post players. Wow, how about that block by Brame?
Jones working it hard.
Love the fact that Edwardsville stuck with that. IHSA Jones is having a really nice ball game. 14 points, 10 big rebounds for her.
The Tigers still scrapping here with a minute 47 to play.
Check that, 16 points and 11 rebounds for IHSA Jones. She has been so active. Hit 7 of her 12 field goals.
Yeah, it's 5 of those field goals, 10 of her points here in the fourth quarter. Whitney Young will take a timeout. They'll look to pretty much figure out how they want to play out this last minute 47 with possible substitutions. That's how far away they are from claiming their second state title in history, giving Tori Irvin her 300th win in the process. I'd like to thank our hosts here at Illinois State University these past 2 weekends for an awful lot of girls basketball state finals. 1A champions Freeport-Acquin, and 2A we mentioned Quincy Notre Dame earlier today. Montini claiming a 3A title, and Whitney Young just about set to close the door and pick up the big trophy here in 4A.
We've done stories over the last couple weekends about teams who have players playing for them that came here when they were younger, had the dream of coming down and playing here themselves once they got to high school. That's what it's all about, you know, coming down when you're a kid, picturing what it would be like to be playing here yourself. For these teams that make it, what a special experience. Not many teams advance this far into the state playoffs.
Well, and some of those people right there may be having their own dreams. And I think everybody expected a free throw. But I think some concentration lapsing here, the final moments. Say it was a player control foul before the timeout. Hence no free throws. Boy, they are feeding it to IHSA Jones, and the junior producing 18 points, 12 in the fourth quarter. It's a 14-point difference, 63-49. And the ball movement. Brame still can't get that kind kiss off the glass.
She's been giving herself a lot of opportunities, though. I've been impressed with how well she gets to the basket. Now she just needs to finish. She just needs that touch.
Anderson tried to find Jones once again. This has been a 24-point fourth quarter for Edwardsville.
And the Whitney Young fans starting to cheer, feeling it, ready to race up. You know, we talked to Corey Irvin, and she said, beating Bolingbrook, being #2 in the nation, that wasn't our goal. It was winning a state championship. Now, when you look back on your high school career to tell somebody that I was a state champion, that's what gets people's attention. That's what these players wanted. They wanted to be the #1 team in the state of Illinois. After a couple of frustrating trips here.
I have a question for
Let's check in with Matt Rodewald.
I wanted to ask Patricia real quick because we watched Bolingbrook, or we didn't in person, but 8 Division I scholarship players graduate this year from Bolingbrook, and Whitney Young has some very young talent with Lene Harper and Kyla Hillsman coming back. Is the power shifting now in 4A, maybe towards Whitney Young a little bit?
It might be. Whitney Young just last won the state title in 2008. Now they're going to get it back here. They've got that young talent that we've been talking about off the bench. Bolingbrook's clearing out a lot of D1 talent, as you mentioned. This might be the start of a long run here for Whitney Young.
Janae Thompson wanting the ball in her hands, just like she did in that 4-overtime win over Bolingbrook. She wants to finish it here at Redbird Arena.
She's not giving it up.
She needs somebody to inbound the ball to her right now with just a touch over a second to play. She'll get it. And she'll have herself a state championship trophy. Second time in Whitney Young history that the Dolphins will claim the championship. They did it in 2008. They do it again here 4 years later in 2012. Corey Irvin's 300th win, a 63-51 victory over Edwardsville for the 4A title.
As we mentioned, the expectations on this team's shoulders from start to finish, ranked #1 for most of the season, #2 in the entire nation by USA Today. You've always got that bullseye on your back to maintain that focus from wire to wire, undefeated, 34-0, winning with authority here. It says a lot about the job that Corey Irvin does preparing her players, keeping them grounded, keeping them focused, and the job that these players have done themselves. They were on a mission this season. They wanted to be the state champions in the state of Illinois, and they left no doubt about which team is the best here in this state.
Congratulations all around for the Dolphins. An emotional time for all these teams involved, whether it be winning or losing in your final game. Let's go to Matt Rodewald.
Well, Janae Thompson, this is the best way possible for you to go out. What are your emotions right now?
I'm extremely happy. I'm extremely proud of my team. I'm glad that they were the group I was able to do it with. We've been doing everything right up until this point, and I think we really deserve it.
What's it been like being a part of a team that's been unbeaten, #1, and considered the best all year, and then you found yourself in the Super Sectional, taking out Bolingbrook, and then you get to complete the job here in Redbird Arena?
Well, I mean, it's been great. I mean, we've been working extremely hard, and we knew it would come down to the Bolingbrook game, and we got through that, and then we were able to pull through and win the state championship, and I'm extremely happy.
All right, well, congratulations on your effort tonight, and go celebrate with your teammates. And then we'll talk to head coach Corey Irvin in just a second. David?
Thank you very much, Matt, as the Whitney Young fans headed over, or the players headed over to their fans to celebrate it. As much as anything, Patricia, it's a release of pressure. You talk about the bullseye on your back. This is happiness for accomplishing your goal. But as you said, it's so much more than that right now.
Yeah, you saw the emotion out of Janae Thompson. She was almost in tears. I think that pressure really gets to you, the buildup. You know, you see her there just so joyful, but such a relief too as well. This team has been through a lot all season long. Just a nice way to go out for this group.
And for Edwardsville, they end up making it a 12-point game, a big fourth quarter for them, a 26-point fourth quarter. You look at their roster, as we said, just one senior in the top 7 in their rotation. Amani Henderson will be back. Hoy Lee Kesper leaves. This is a team that now, first time into the state title game, first time into the semifinals, they've gotten a taste of what it's like. A lot of people say before you can win that first championship, you have to get there and learn from it.
Well, and we've talked so much about the Bolingbrook-Whitney Young rivalry. Maybe this is the rivalry of the future in the state of Illinois. Whitney Young, we mentioned it. Yeah, Janae Thompson's going to be leaving this team. Also, Alexis Lloyd, they'll be playing in college next year, but they have got a lot of talent back and almost everybody back for Edwardsville. This could be a nice little matchup in the coming years.
You see tears like that, from Tessa Haldis, a senior. Those tears aren't just because you won and the pressure's off. Those are tears because you say, this is it. This will be the last time I will be with these group of players. It will be no more. And this is unlike really any other level of sports, I think.
Well, and it's because a lot of these players have been playing together almost their entire lives. You know, feeder basketball starts so young now, 5th grade. You're playing with these girls in grade school, and then a lot of times you're playing with them during the summer and AAU basketball travel teams. You've spent a lot of time with these girls, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears shed amongst all these players. This is the payoff.
Corey Irvin is with Matt Rodewald.
Yeah, it was a perfect season, so I'm really proud of the girls. I'm really excited for them.
What is it like coaching this team and coaching players like Janae Thompson and Lene Harper?
Well, this team was real special because they never let down. Every day they came to practice, they worked hard, they did everything we asked them to do, and you know, it's rare to have your best players do all the little things, but I thought that they did that this year.
Well, a lot of people are going to talk about what happened down here with Bartlett and Edwardsville, but the focus is going to go back to the super sectional win against Bolingbrook. Do you feel a sense of relief just making sure you get that title, knowing how well and how much of a classic game that was?
I did. I mean, I thought it would have not been a disservice, but I thought it was important for us to come down here and win and not come down and lose. So, I mean, I think we played all the best teams in our route down here. So, I mean, this does a lot for our team and a lot for the teams we played.
Will you be back next year?
I hope so.
Good luck, Coach. Thank you.
All right,
Congratulations.
thank you. Okay, thank you.
Tigers of Edwardsville High School.
Matt Rodewald with Corey Irvin. Let's now go to our public address announcer, Jeff Fritzen, for tonight's awards.
2 losses. First meet the superintendent of Edwardsville, Dr. Ed Hightower. Principal Dennis Cramsey. Athletic Director Brad Beavis. Athletic Trainer Katie Hamilton. Head Coach Lori Blade. Assistant Coach Donna Farley. Assistant Coach Tanya Gill. Assistant Coach Jackie Harlan. Assistant Coach Katie Beavis. And the Tiger squad members, 00, Leah Jason. Number 10, Sydney Block. Number 11, Amaya Dykus. 12, Lauren White. 13, Courtney Dunbar. Number 20, Kennedy Martin. 21, Morgan Sharp. Number 22, Sarah Parker. 23, Aaliyah Covington. Number 24, Asia Jones. Number 25, Aaron Bell. 30, Kiana Hampton. 32, Imani Henderson. And number 34, Lee Kesper. At this time, please meet the Dolphins of Whitney Young High School, who finished the season in first place with a final record of 34 wins and no losses. First meet the Chicago Public Schools Director of Sports Administration, Calvin Davis. Principal, Joyce Kenner. Athletic Director, Chris Cassidy. trainer, Sherry Lyons. Head coach, Corey Irvin. Assistant coach, Daryl Carter. Assistant coach, Valerie Spann. Assistant coach, Hank Hicks. Manager, Dominique Tate. Manager, Gwen Pippin. And the Dolphin squad members, 00, Kyla Hilsman. Number 3, Brittany Morris. Four, Sydney Snower. Number 10, Jasmine Ogunjimi. Number 11, Janae Thompson. 15, Lene Harper. Number 22, Medina Muhammad. 24, Tanita Allen. Number 31, Tessa Haldis. 32, Alexis Lloyd. 33, Taylor Brame. Number 34, Katrina Beck. Number 44, Maya McKee. And number 55, Frederica Weinbecker. And now will Coach Blade and the captains from Edwardsville High School please step forward to receive the Class 4A second place trophy. And now will Coach Irvin and the captains from Whitney Young High School please step forward to receive the Class 4A first place trophy.
Right now, they feel like champions of the world. What we can tell you is they are the Illinois Class 4A state champions from Whitney Young and for Edwardsville. They will pick up the second place trophy. That will match their highest finish ever in basketball. Their 1956 boys team at Edwardsville also finishing second. But for Whitney Young, 63-51 winners here tonight. Dave Bernhardt, along with Patricia Babcock-McGraw. And Patricia, this is really a fitting way, I think, for these 2 weekends. We have seen some absolutely dominating teams here at Redbird Arena.
Yeah, we saw Notre Dame last weekend. Now we're seeing Whitney Young. It's always so much fun to be here at Redbird Arena, especially on championship night, just to see the excitement out of the state champs, the singing, the hugging, the smiles. What a great ride it's been for Whitney Young. Also been so great to see some of the great individual performances out of these players here in the state of Illinois. We're going to see a lot of these players, Imani Henderson, Janae Thompson, Lene Harper, Alexis Lloyd. They're going to be representing the state of Illinois very well on the college basketball scene in the coming years. That's fun to watch too.
You used the word great about 3 times in that paragraph. I will say it's been great once again working with you.
It's been great working with you. It's been a fun ride. Let's do it again next year.
Will do. next year for the girls back here at Redbird Arena. Next week, we will go to Peoria and Carver Arena. The boys in action next 2 weekends. Be sure to join us. For our IHSA television crew, for Matt Rodewald and my partner, Patricia Babcock-McGraw, I'm Dave Bernhardt. It's been great having you with us. We will see you in Peoria.